Are you making these first date mistakes?
You're really like beautiful.
Here's the reality, guys. If she's taking forever to respond to you or she just completely ghosted you, you've probably made one of these very crucial first date mistakes. But don't worry, guys, that's why I'm here. In this video, I'm gonna make sure that you guys don't make any of these mistakes ever again. I'm gonna make you well aware of these mistakes and I'm gonna tell you guys how to prevent them. This is video number 2 in the series. These are first date mistakes you want to avoid, like this one.
I've had this weird like foot fungus.
Ew.
Now I realize that was a little dramatic and I went a little overboard with that, but you don't want the girl to be making that face on a date with you. I'm actually out here on the battlefield showing you guys how to improve your dating lives and showing you guys what not to do. So make sure you subscribe for more tips just like this. Number 1 is being too friendly and not flirty enough. When a girl goes on a date with a guy, she gets a certain vibe, right? Is it a friendly vibe or is it a sexual vibe? I found myself, I was having pretty good success with women on dates, but they would have very limited responses to me, right? Like they wouldn't text me back, and when they did text me back, it would be like a couple words and I'd be thinking, what am I doing wrong, right? I was carrying on the conversation, I was making them laugh, and then I realized that I wasn't being flirty enough, right? They had put me in that friend zone category, the dreaded friend zone category, and I thought, okay, I need to make some adjustments here. So what I began to realize was that there was no flirtiness. Here's how you guys can prevent being put in that friend zone category. When you meet her, when you greet her, give her a hug, right? You're already establishing right there that you don't want to just be friends, right? And throughout the date, you want to be escalating physically as much as you can. It's going to be a lot smoother when you do go for the kiss because you've already escalated there, right? Going from a, hey, how are you, how's the weather, to all of a sudden just smooching her across the table, she might not be the most receptive to that, right? Women are like dials, whereas guys, it's just a switch, right? So you got to warm up the car a bit. You want to tease her, flirt with her, okay? You could just start with teasing her about her drink taste. Oh, you like tomato juice? How do you like clamato juice? Oh my God. You like Caesars? Ugh. I don't know about you. I took you more as a white wine fan myself. You want to tease her, poke at her a bit, flirt with her, right? You want to make sure that it's not just a generic get to know you interview style conversation, right? Because that will put you in the friend zone fast. Being rude to the wait staff. Oh my God. Here, let me tell you guys a story. I was on a date with a girl one time who was a 9 out of 10. Smoking hot, right? I don't believe 10 out of 10s exist. So 9 out of 10. The waitress came along, right? And she was nice, but she took a little while with the food. Then all of a sudden, it's just like this girl who I was on a date with was just being all snarky with her, right? Like,
Oh, wow. You couldn't have took any longer to bring the food out. Wow, that's all you guys got for drinks? I thought you'd have more.
and it's like, do you really think that's the waitress's fault? Like, don't shoot the messenger here, okay? She's just here delivering her food, doing her job. Let me tell you guys, it literally turned my penis inside out. Like, I was so turned off by that. And that's the same with her, right? She's gonna be judging you on how you interact with others. You can tell a lot about other people's personality by how they interact with strangers, right? And trust me, guys, she will be observing how you interact with others, right? So just be kind, be friendly, ask how their day was, ask how they're doing, but don't start flirting with them, okay? That's another mistake. You don't want to go too far with this and start flirting with the waitress. Being too drunk, okay? It's okay to have 1 or 2 drinks, right? Loosen up the ganders a bit, you know, take the edge off. You're a little nervous. That's fine. Have 1 or 2 drinks, okay? But don't be a drunken, slurring mess. It's a bad look, okay? It'll come off as you don't have your together, and it'll come off like you're trying to mask your nervousness, your insecurities, right? You needed to drink so much. It's just a bad look, and it's gonna leave a bad taste in her mouth when you're a sloppy Joe at the dinner table. Being too negative, okay? You want to avoid being a negative Nancy as much as possible. Nobody likes a negative Nancy, okay? I can't stand girls who are negative. I run away from negative people in general. I cannot stand it because it's a very draining energy. It's a very draining vibe to be around that. Anytime the conversation turns into slightly what could be perceived as negative, it's your job to take a hold of the wheel and steer it more towards positive vibes. Don't complain about your job, about your life, right? She doesn't want to hear that shit. Try to focus on the more positive aspects of your life, okay? There's always a silver lining. There's always a positive to a negative situation. Keep that in mind, guys. Not dressing appropriately, okay, guys? Make sure that wherever you go, you're dressed appropriately for the situation or the scenario. It's always better to overdress slightly when in doubt. That doesn't mean wear a tuxedo freshly pressed like James Bond 007 to go get ice cream, okay? Just make sure you put a little effort into what you're gonna wear, okay? Wear clothes you feel confident in. Being ridiculously late, okay? Don't do this. When you show up late, it shows that you're not respectful of somebody else's time, and it puts a bad taste in their mouth, right? It also communicates that you didn't have your shit together, that you failed to plan. And when you're on a date with a girl, regardless of whether you have your shit together or not, you want to be communicating subtly that you do have your shit together, okay? That's an attractive quality. Going for the kiss at the end of the date, okay? And I realize that this could be slightly controversial. Now, okay, you see it in rom-coms all the time, right? A guy and a girl go on a beautiful date, they're skipping and, you know, the date's all sunshine and rainbows, and then at the end of the date, the guy goes in and shoots in for the kill and the sparks are just flying. The girl's telling her friends afterwards about how romantic the date was, how much she loved Jonathan and his dashing good looks and how much fun she had. It was a fairy tale, right? It was so fun. Here's the reality though, guys, is the girl knows it's coming. The girl knows that you're gonna shoot in for the kill at the end of the date. And the problem is a lot of guys, they haven't built up to that kiss, right? It's like they go from just speaking about the weather, you know, having generic conversation, and then they go to kiss the girl at the end of the date, right? And it's awkward. For one, she's expecting that. You haven't really built up to that, right? You haven't escalated physically. You're going from step 2 to step 10. It's always better for it to unravel naturally as opposed to when you think that you should be doing it or it's an obligation, right? A lot of guys feel like it's an obligation to have to go and, you know, kiss the girl at the end of the date, right? It's better to unfold naturally when you feel that vibe, okay? The best strategy is to kiss her when she's at an emotional high, right? Maybe she laughs at one of your jokes. When she's laughing, but you want to make sure beforehand that she's comfortable, right? That she's comfortable in your presence. You don't want to shoot your load too early on this one. Another good time to do it, another good time to kiss her is when the conversation dies out, right? She said something and then, you know, you maybe look into her eyes for like 2 to 3 seconds. Don't be afraid of these silences, because in these silences, these can be great for when you want to kiss her, right? She says something and you just kind of look into her eyes like, and then you kiss her, right? You couldn't help it. There was that spark, that tension, right? You want to build that sexual tension. Building sexual tension is great in silences as well, too. It's hard to build sexual tension when you're just constantly talking all the time. Which leads me into my next point, talking too much, right? Nobody likes somebody that talks their ear off, or worse, talks about themselves nonstop, right? It's better to let her talk, to ask her questions and get her to talk about herself, right? And make sure you're genuinely listening to what she's saying. Being too uptight. Guys, relax. You're not a Terminator on a date like this. You don't want to be too in your own head, too rigid, right? Too serious. Relax, have fun, you know? Entertain yourself, make yourself laugh, say what you find amusing. This is gonna come off in your vibe, and she's gonna mirror that, right? If you're just laughing, having fun, you don't really give a shit, she's gonna reflect that energy, right? If you're too strict, too rigid, too like speaking like a politician, like every single word is calculated, there's no personality there, right? She's not gonna have fun, right? Girls just wanna have fun, as the old saying goes, as the old song goes. So, have fun. Avoid discussing sensitive topics like politics, ex-girlfriends, or conspiracy theories, right? The last thing you guys wanna be doing on the date is debating whether the earth is flat or not. Does that sound like your idea of a typical romantic first date? I didn't think so. So guys, I know that's a lot of information coming at you, right? You may feel overwhelmed. You may feel like, oh my God, that's a lot to take in. What do I do? Here's the reality that even if you don't make any of these mistakes, you still might not get a text back from her because you didn't stand out enough. You can do that by watching this video right here. 5 date ideas that will leave a lasting impression on her, and she'll start to text you and chase you.